sevens rugby, and at this point in time we turn our attention back to the men, and it's the equivalent fixture over on the men's side of the draw between Samoa and Canada. Now Samoa are a team who'd be a little disappointed not only with their performance this weekend but with their season as a whole. It's been a time of change, it's been a time of injury for them. They've struggled to really get their continuity going, the Samoans. Do you sense an opportunity for the Canadians here, or do you think the Samoans might just have a little bit too much in the tank, Ollie?
I do, yeah. I mean, on paper I do, but the Samoan side has stuttered its way through. To be honest, we thought they were going to, the way we saw them play in the quarter final of this play this morning, we wrote them off then. We thought they weren't going to go through there. They just lacked energy, any sort of enthusiasm. And against an Argentinian side who were dogged and they were hungry, we thought they were going to go out. And we have to give them some credit there in the fact that they came back and they won that game having been 14-0 down.
Yeah.
So, you know, Stephen Beetham will be saying to these guys that this is the last one. We've got a massive rest after that. We need to go out. In these conditions, they're hugely physical. They should be dominating the contact area in defence, and this Canadian side shouldn't really get a look in. But they have played well, this Canadian side. Consistently come on throughout the series, getting better and better. And I think you have to say, with the balance of play and the way it's gone, the Canadian side perhaps in this tournament alone, that you could maybe tip them.
Sure.
You can see how Stephen Beetham's tactics of bringing experienced players, but those players who haven't played the game or haven't played together for quite a while, hasn't quite paid off. Every game that they progress and play together, this Samoan team gels and becomes more of the Samoan team that we know it's capable of, but they're just lacking that time together in matches.
A big call there is that Foul, for me, Foul Saliba hasn't played very well in this tournament, but he is massive and he's extremely strong.
Massive physically.
Physically. Yeah. And in these conditions, he would be a serious handful, yet he's been put on the bench.
Sure.
So it's just interesting to see what tactics Samoa are going for here.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting, and we've spoken about how these conditions have changed for each respective team. Just quickly and finally, Sue, when it comes to these two individually, the rain of the last couple of hours favours the Samoans for you?
I think it favours, the more physical side, because you want to keep it a little bit tighter, be able to keep hold of the ball, be good at the breakdown. So, yeah, I agree.
That's an area of strength, although they have employed the tactic that you all mentioned a little earlier on. Ball to boot as well can be quite dangerous with the wet underfoot conditions. Let's cross back now to Ruznicki Stadium. Underwater still, but it seems, thankfully, to have eased a little bit overhead. Carl Tanana and Wyn Griffith, your commentators for this one.
Samoans really have played their best footy on day three. The Canadians, you can't discount them, though. They've also been good today.
Yeah, Samoa lost to Kenya last evening in the pool decider, that being their only loss here this weekend in Moscow. So disappointed. Stephen Beetham, the restored coach of the Samoan 7 squad. Canada, well, they have Nanyak Dala, Phil Mack and Kieran Hearn returning from their effort in Dubai in 2009 and would dearly love to lift the plates here.
I'm very surprised that Nanyak Dala hasn't started this game when he has been outstanding all tournament. He was brilliant in Canada's last game, and I thought these conditions would have suited him down to a T.
He certainly would, because he's a heavy unit, is Nanyak Dala, built like a JCB, as we say. And he could certainly plough through these conditions, and he was the man that scored that fantastic try in Glasgow against Samoa, as it happens to retain core status for Canada for next year. And a number of these guys, they won't be back again, that's for sure, at the Rugby World Cup, so it would be just reward for them. And Samoa, well, they'll be rebuilding after this World Cup as well. So plenty to play for in this plate final for both of these teams. The kick and the chase. The bounce is there for Sean Duke. Harassing from Tom Iosefo. Canada, though, are there in numbers, dug out by the captain, Nathan Hirayama. This is Kieran Hearn, the long striding Kieran Hearn. Can't get away from the tackler, Afayono. The captain wearing 2 makes another important tackle. They want to get on with play, but Kieran Hearn is down injured on the far side.
Well, I think Alatasi Tupou knew that. That's why he tried to take it quickly. He was round the boot, laces at the sweeper. Tupou, he did well. And Kieran Hearn there, you can see on his haunches straight away. You'd always expect a tough physical approach from the Samoans. Afaiono there.
Samoa play no holds bar rugby, and when you see the close-ups, you notice that Samoa don't wear mouth shields, gum shields either. I think they're the only team on the circuit that don't wear gum shields.
Looks like Kieran Hurd took one round the gums there, just getting his nose check, maybe a bit of blood.
Well, if you have a doctor as a referee, then you stand a chance of getting fair treatment. Because you see the Canadians do wear gum shields. So play resumes. All in the hands of Alatasi Tupou. It's called to tow South Africa with some 15s recently when halfback Khan Fotwalihi pulled out. 3 or 4 of these players toured South Africa.
Well, an interesting kick there, to say the least, from Lololui at standoff. I think he wanted it to go a bit deeper, went to crossfield on a more of a wipers type effort for his winger, Tom Yosefo.
Yeah, we're used to see the big men in the wide channels, aren't we, from Samoa, but I noticed that the biggest guy in the squad is on the bench, and he's Alafoti Fawasiliva. Green take at the line-out, secure, safe hands. Nate Hirayama backs himself. Good work here by the Canadian captain. Oh, yes, he will get his reward. The perseverance of Nathan Hirayama, the captain from Richmond, British Columbia, gets the opening score for his team.
Well, the secret was he came from depth and he ran onto the ball. You see it there, good pass from Phil Mack, ball in 2 hands, shapes up, draws in Lololui. A missed kick there, but it wasn't cleaned up there by Tom Yosefo. Pops up, and Nate Hirayama gets Canada off to the perfect start.
Mistakes are bound to happen when you have circumstances as we have here today. The rain that fell over the Uzbeki complex here about 2 hours ago and certainly changed conditions. And second highest point scorer now in Moscow, Nathan Hirayama, but he could rise to the top of the heap. Medap Kvirikashvili, the Georgian, is the standout performer at the moment.
John Moonlight there, jersey number 4 for Canada, just couldn't secure their kickoff. Was another good one from Kieran Hurn. He's been good all weekend with the restarts for Canada.
John Moonlight will be 26 years of age on Tuesday. I wonder whether there'll be an early birthday present for the cousin of Canada's top point scorer and speedster, Dave Moonlight. Oh, handling of Ripena Lavasa usually is so secure, but handling is a lottery.
Yeah, very wide on their set, the Samoans. A difficult ball to take there. I think he had a little look too at the oncoming Kieran Hurn.
Canadians absolutely delighted with their quarter-final placing in Glasgow, which secured them core status, and playing here with confidence as Phil Mack, and again the gap opens up this time for Sean Duke, himself a prolific try scorer on the HSBC circuit. Tyson DeGoody, plenty of experience there as well. Not going anywhere, no advantage to Canada. The knock-on by Samoa, so Canada will get the put in the last final few seconds of the first half of this plate final. Canada have been doing all the running in the opening 7 minutes. Samoa looking to outmuscle the Canadians. Kieran Hurn, the offload to Sean Duke. Good defense there from Samoa, snapped up by Nate Hirayama. A second try for the alert captain, Nate Hirayama. He's having a stormer.
Well, he's got great vision, a great feel of where defenders are. Nate Hirayama does a lot of work to get there. Good awareness too there by Sean Duke to keep the ball in. The little feint with the head. The defence buys it hook, line and sinker, and he gets his double for this half.
And that is the hooter you hear in the background, and this effort from Nathan Hirayama with a conversion of his own try, which has already lifted him to the top of the points table here in Moscow, will be the final act of the first half. Not a bad effort. It's no surprise that it falls short, but Canada in control at the break against Samoa in the men's plate final. They lead Samoa by 12-0 at half-time.
And then you hunt in packs of two. Whereas Samoa, will they give the opportunity to the Sevens legend that is Uale Mai? I want to send him off on the best of notes. He has been a warrior over many years for the Manui Samoa. I'm sure they'll be using that as some inspiration. I still think the bench will play a big part in this game win.
Yeah, Geraint John will be happy. Incidentally, there are two Johns and two Welshmen coaching in this World Cup. Paul John, the Wales coach, is the other one, of course. And there may have been an inference earlier on today that Paul John might be contemplating retirement. Well, I can assure you, there's nothing further from his mind. He aims to stay where he is. Just to clear up that confusion. And there's some confusion here, perhaps, which will be cleared up by the referee's assistant.
I think it was from the kickoff, the player taking each other out, but they've come to the right conclusion. Just play on. The penalty's been given. Just there, the grab of the shoulder there. Tangi Vaea was the one for Samoa. Here they go. Set move.
Spreading it wide into the safe hands of Tom Iosefo. Conditions aren't conducive for him to display his multi-talents. In goes Lololui to clear out, but there waiting was Kieran Hearn, 2 Rugby World Cup in 15s. Behind him a Rugby World Cup Sevens tournament in 2009 as well, and he's young enough to come back again to another few World Cups in 15s and 7s.
They're just a step quicker at the moment in their support player, the Canadians. Nate Hirayama on the ball. He's just going to slow it down, play it at his pace that he wants, take it to the set piece.
Yeah, a little lighter on their feet, perhaps, the Canadians. Canada now swinging Olympic Games money to Sevens in a big way, and they're targeting, just like the USA, targeting recruits from other sports. So it augurs well for Canadian rugby, and a trophy here would certainly be a just reward for the efforts of these young men throughout the season. Sean Duke again testing the Samoan defense, taking it wide out to the far side of the field, now looking to stretch the Samoans again on the left, and Tyson DeGoody it was who lost possession, but referee Thomas was playing advantage in any event.
Yeah, well, it's a smart play by Canada, because what they're doing, they're creating the mismatch on the outside. Sean Duke is a lot bigger than Tom Iosefo, so they know they're going to win the physical battle there, get on the front foot, get their support players, and get their clean pull out of there.
And clever play here by Canada, playing the clock and managing the game well. Nathan Hirayama, the captain, physical education student, on the all-time Rugby World Cup points list. Well, Nate Hirayama is now ahead of former players who have graced that Maple Leaf jersey over the years with pride.
Yanyak Dala coming on for Canada. Let's see what his impact's going to be.
Couldn't prevent the ball from falling into Samoan hands here. And Canada quite content to take on the Samoans in the close quarter stuff. Here goes John Moonlight this time, wearing 4 with the tackle. Pressure, good pressure rugby being applied by Canada here, but they've left the door open perhaps for Tom Iosefo. My mistake, it's Rupena Lavasa out wide this time. Lololui. What a day it was in Edinburgh when his drop goal went over to secure the IRB Series Championship for the Islanders for the very first time. It's going from bad to worse here.
Off you go.
Yellow card for Afa Ayono, the Samoan captain.
Just wait.
2 minutes in the sin bin.
Well, it's made the effort now for Samoa all that more tougher.
Canada could wrap it up here. A neat little chip through. And it's the hat-trick man then, Nathan Hirayama, Canada's top scorer. Well, we had a thunderstorm here but 2 hours ago, and Nathan Hirayama is stirring up a storm himself here.
Well, there's nothing like a bit of self-belief, and Nathan Hirayama has taken this game by the scruff of the neck, and he's been a present for Team Canada, and he's enjoying himself too, and that's when you play at your best.
All the points then from the man wearing number 9, Nathan Hirayama, adds another 2. And Canada look to be home and dry here, although dry might not be the most appropriate word, Katanana, at this precise moment.
Yeah, just highlighting that discipline has to be at a premium. The Samoans have a man in the bin after that indiscretion, their captain, Awhai Aono, and they exploit it here to the maximum, do Canada.
Canada, they lost to New Zealand first time out on Friday afternoon by 31-12. Then they recovered and defeated near neighbours, the USA, by 15 points to 14. And on the balance of the recent tournaments, that was something of a shock, because the USA have performed admirably well in recent tournaments, but they go home empty-handed. Canada, on the other hand, will surely go home with the plate from Moscow in 2013. Fala Aminga Selisele has other ideas, though. 2.5 minutes, 3 scores, that's what's required from Samoa. They haven't looked at the moment as if they're going to get the 1 try. This looks more promising, though, as Alatasi Tupou sets off. Quickly taken by Leo Lolo. The change of direction from Lolo Louis. Bit of a tongue twister when those two combine. Selisele, oh, lovely underhand pass there from Leo Lolo, the man wearing 5, but they're getting no change whatsoever, are they, from the Canadian defence? A sterling effort from them.
Just a hustle and bustle from Team Canada. They spoke about it at halftime. Garrett John asked his troops to keep in the face of the Samoans, and that's what they've done. They're up to their full complement. You can see Aono coming on. And too little, too late. There's only 1:40 left in this plate final.
Canada took control of this game early on. That little speculative kick from Nathan Hirayama opened the scoring. He had another one before the break, and now a third in the second half. And Canada on song here.
Well, they played to the conditions better, didn't they? Win 2 kicks in behind by Nate Hirayama, backing himself. A little head fake to get us.
Yeah, they've raised above the conditions, and when we were looking ahead to this tournament, Carl, we were saying that the weather would suit Samoa better than Fiji, perhaps. So that, of course, we were looking at temperatures high in the 30s then. The conditions have changed on the last day and in the last few hours in particular, and Canada have raised above the conditions and played the right tactics as Philmack on the angle injects some pace into the attack. This is Taylor Paris, the youngster recently released by the Glasgow Warriors, 20-year-old from Barrie, Ontario. Last throw of the dice and Samoa, but it'll be just a consolation score by the looks of things. Canada have this one well wrapped up, as the big man Alafoti Fawasiliva takes it into contact. Scored some important tries over recent seasons for Samoa, and here they come, looking to finish with a flourish. Here's Leo Lolo. Lolo using his power to go over for what is likely to be a consolation try only for Samoa. They left it far too late, but in all honesty, they've only been second best to Canada in this plate final.
Well, they deserve a try for their efforts. Do Samoa. Leo Lolo, skips out of a tackle. Rightful step to get rid of the sweeper. With a defender on his back, he carries him over. But in the end, the Canadian team just slick, too professional.
Time for the restart, but Samoa need to score twice, and that is not going to happen. Canada look to get their hands on the ball here, but Samoa battling away as they always do, right to the referee's final whistle. Leololo high-stepping again. 2 tries from Leololo in the space of a minute, but far too little, far too late for the Islanders to recover, having seen Canada go out into a 19-0 lead. They've come back strongly, but Canada will take the plate.
We saw the mismatch here. Nanyek Dala was the one in front of him. He did him on the outside easy. Did Leololo his double for the match, but as you said, went just a bit too late for them, the Islanders.
So there we are. Leololo joins Humphrey Kayenge as the top try scorer here in Moscow. That could all change, of course, because we have the men's bronze final to come and the cup final itself, of course. But for now, the hero of the moment is the Canadian captain, Nathan Hirayama. And it's a proud gentleman holding up the Canadian maple leaf as Nathan Hirayama will lead his men up the steps to receive the plate in a few moments' time on the back of a final scoreline which reads Samoa 12, Canada 19.
Well, Geraint John, a very proud Canada coach. Geraint, you've just finished 9th in the World Cup. Well, there's no disgrace in that, is there?
No, I think when you look at the game that we actually lost to New Zealand, they're playing in the final tonight. So, yeah, you've got to be proud of the players and their attitude and their commitment as well. It's sort of, some of these players have been in the last 60 days, they've been 53 days on the road, not just with Sevens, from Glasgow, London, and then the 15. So their commitment attitude has been outstanding. It's a great way to finish by winning the plate and coming 9th, as you said.
There must be some tired legs out there. Is there a case for perhaps giving them a slightly smaller workload, some of these boys?
Yeah, it is, but they just enjoy playing, and they're so proud, and they enjoy playing and representing their country, and that's what they're all about, and it showed there today, and I think the players who went on made a difference as well. So we're pleased. They'll have a little break now because some of these have got a 15s qualifier in August, but they'll have a break, and we look forward to next year.
5 wins, 1 loss. Well done.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
Yeah, fine finish for Canada, and we have this discussion about the difference between 7s and 15s and managing the workload, and here you go, you've got semi-professional players over in Canada doing both and enjoying it with a smile on their face. Of course, this is the nature of play in the emerging nations. They sometimes have to do just that, and they have finished with a flurry. Of course, towards the end of the Sevens World Series, they confirm their place as a core nation for next year and onwards, so certainly things are on the up. Samoa, a disappointing end to an otherwise disappointing season, but it is the focus on the winning team and a Canadian side, in your eyes, Ollie, a growing side in terms of their understanding, their awareness and their performance levels across the board.
Yeah, and they've got some players who I think are going to be around for quite a long time. Young, there is a bit of experience then. Phil Mack, for example, he's been on the Seventh Circuit a long time, but the likes of Sean Duke, Paris, these are guys who have come into this Canadian side. They've really embraced the game. They've started to play some really good sevens. They understand it, and at times in the World Seven Series, they've been really, really strong. Yeah. They lack that consistency, but in this World Cup so far, they'll be really, really chuffed with that showing, and to beat Samoa the way that they did, relatively convincingly, I think that's credit to this Canadian side.
Yeah, a tiring Samoan outfit though towards the end, did you feel?
Yeah, a tiring team that's been not performing particularly fantastic, as well as they could do all tournament long, and possibly this is the time now for Samoa to start to really look at bringing in a new group of young players and growing them for the next 3-4 years with the Olympics and the next World Cup in mind. They're not taking away from the huge and wonderful players these guys have been, but maybe it's time for that step change. Yeah, well, it's important, isn't it? We talk about consistency of selection as a big part of success in sevens as well, Sue. You know, in Samoa, we've seen players come and go a little bit with injury and form. The Canadians have, on the most part, been able to hold on to a core team. How important is it, do you feel, to have similar men or women around you on a consistent basis?
Yeah, you absolutely need that consistency.